I'm delighted to be here with Jim O'Malley. Jim, I have an interest in what you're doing and I've been reading away about you. So it's a pleasure to have you here with me.
Thank you very much. I'm equally pleased to be here and to talk to you, Bernadette.
Thank you. And I suppose all our listeners out there in community radio Youghal will be delighted to hear as well. And I'm sure many of them know that you're a Youghal man yourself.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So you
wore the old colours, maybe not with such great distinction for many years.
Very good. All right, but you're a son of there already.
I certainly am, and I don't forget either.
And you don't forget, and that's
yes.
lovely to know. Now, listen, I've been reading away about this wonderful book that you've written. Walking the Munster Blackwater.
Yes.
And I know that's what you're going to be talking about here at the Immrama.
Yes, that would be tomorrow evening at 7:30.
Tomorrow evening at 7:30. Yes. But what really interests me was this burning ambition that you had for a very long time to do that.
Yes.
So do you want to talk to me about that?
Well, I suppose it was something that was ticking away beneath the surface, and
yeah.
I don't think I might have been quite aware of it.
Okay.
Okay. But it was there and probably building up. And there's a lead up to it because I'd walked the Wicklow Way and the Bear Way.
Yeah.
And then Niall O'Brien's book came out, I think, in 2008 or 2009.
Okay.
Trade and Navigation on the Blackwater, which was extraordinary.
Okay.
And I remember somewhere maybe I had read chapter 4 or chapter 5, and it just clicked with me.
Yeah.
I'll walk the Blackwater.
Fantastic.
But now, of course, another man from Glendyne, Henry O'Lehaun,
right,
or Harry Lyons, walked the Blackwater in 1959.
Okay.
And he wrote a very good book, rather short, but very well written in Irish, Cushmora by the Blackwater.
Okay.
So that was there as well.
Yeah.
So, within a short time I began to say, I'll write a book about it. I'll walk it and I'll write a book.
Yeah.
And I can update what Harry or Henry wrote.
Fantastic.
And if you go back earlier to 1844, J.R. O'Flanagan from Fermoy wrote The Blackwater in Munster, which is a classic, which is long since out of print.
Yes.
I would have a copy.
Yeah.
And he gave a very different view of the world that the Blackwater was then.
Okay.
He travelled up by a steamboat up to Cappoquin. Very different world of the grand houses and the gentlemen and so on. Yeah. But a beautiful picture, but which was outdated, I suppose. So there was a need to update the picture. So that's where I came in.
It's a fantastic story, do you know, Jim? And I mean, to bring it into the present tense, to bring it into the present day, and to kind of look at it, because I know as well that you're very much an environmentalist.
Yes.
And a conservationist.
Yes.
All right.
I'm unapologetic about that.
Unapologetic, and how wonderful is that? And I suppose the whole sense that you had when you were doing that, and I know you did it over 7 days.
Yes.
Walking that, so you would have encountered many different people and what the landscape is about. And would it be true to say that you're really so much, so much in the book, but so much yourself about preserving the landscape?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I suppose one aim of the book was to celebrate the Blackwater and the landscape and the environment and the whole area. To celebrate means to kind of call attention to the beauty, to the value of the place, to the special nature of it, and to praise it, and to try and get others to share it. So that's very much part of it, because it's something that maybe since Irish independence we haven't done enough of it. We haven't really been aware enough of our landscape. We haven't really celebrated it. We have some beautiful old songs and ballads, the banks of my own lovely Leash, leaving them on and so on, beautiful. And my lovely Leitrim and so on. Yeah. But for some reason, Blackwater, despite its beauty, and it is the most beautiful of Irish rivers, no one has ever really composed a really kind of memorable ballad about it.
Well, I'll tell you now, just listening away to you there, you'd never know.
No,
and there might be some listener out there now that does
musical, but
you might be sowing a seed there now, Jim, of one, and we'd never know. You might be hearing it sooner than you think. But it was that sense, I think, of your sense of the environment and your understanding of the landscape that particularly interests me in your book.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm very interested in the flora and the fauna.
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And for a long time, I specialised in flowers and plants and went hunting for them and learnt a lot of them. But it tends to broaden out your interest into habitats.
Sure.
Where do they grow?
Yeah.
Why do they grow here?
Yes.
And what kind of a state are they in? Is there any particular threat to them?
Okay.
And then I began to look maybe at kind of the overall scene, the very shapes of the landscape, the folds of it, and the way as you move along, say as you travel along a road, the way landscape changes, which is continually enthralling.
How interesting.
You know?
How interesting. And I suppose evolving in its own sense as well. I suppose I remember a great old friend, John Moriarty, I don't know if you know John, but
yes,
yeah,
I know John
John was a very good friend of mine, and John would have talked about, you know, to see the land as it sees itself.
Yes.
And to be in a wood and to get down with the wood.
Yes.
And to smell the wood and experience the wood as the wood sees itself.
Yes.
So you reminded me of John when I was reading about you.
Yes.
And so that connection came in very strongly. So
oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, John passed away, I suppose, 5-6 years ago.
He did, back in 2006.
But John had an extraordinary sense of
Yes.
place and what places meant, and in a very ancient way.
In a very ancient way.
You know, he could understand the kind of roots that a place had.
Yes.
And how we were connected to it.
That's right.
And he had a spiritual sense to it as well.
Absolutely.
So I don't think that we've really plumbed or examined John's writing enough at all. But they will be there, and people will come and do that.
Absolutely. And I mean, people are, and as I knew John, but as I say, it just reminded me so much of John when I was reading you, because it's that, again, that passion that runs right through what you're talking about in walking this Munster Blackwater.
Well, I think it was 2005, I walked St. Declan's Way.
Okay.
And I was telling John about it, and he started talking about it, and he says, you know, he said, the trees speak to us.
Yes. Yes.
I was a little bit taken aback, you know. I didn't say anything, but I was thinking about it afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
And the trouble, I suppose, is for most of us is that we try and understand it literally.
Indeed.
But you're at the wrong end.
Yes.
If you try that.
Yes.
It's just to be aware. Don't go around plugged into some recorded music, but just be conscious and be aware of what to say and feel it. And as Wordsworth would say, emotion recollected in tranquility.
How beautiful. Oh my goodness me, I shall remember that one. But just, you know, briefly, just before, you know, before we finish, you know, I suppose I would be aware of the writings of John Muir, the great conservationist, or maybe the father of conservation.
Yes.
Would he have been of an influence to you at all?
Yes, I read, I think, two of John Muir's autobiographical works some maybe 10 or 12 years ago, and yes, he would very definitely. I think Muir was an immensely admirable person.
Yes.
What he did for conservation was extraordinary.
Yes.
The way he stopped maybe the damage to the great forests and hills of America, and his passionate love for it, the way he explored it and lived it and knew it.
And Sierra Nevadas, which,
yes,
of course, which
John Muir is such a giant that we're all midgets.
But there you go. But there's the influence.
Comparison. So.
But listen, you're here in Lismore at this wonderful Immrama festival and this wonderful journey as it is in the Gaelic, and so you're going to be talking to people tomorrow night.
Yes.
And just tell me, what are you going to be talking to them about?
Well,
I know you read your book, but
I'm
is there anything
looking
else?
forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've put a good bit of thought into this.
Great.
And I want to maybe come up with a bit of a fresh angle.
Okay.
Because people have read the book, and a rehash of that, they want a bit more. So this time I'm going to focus a bit on writing the book. I think Walking the Munster Blackwater is the title of the book. So tomorrow night I'm going to talk about writing the Munster Blackwater.
Fantastic. Oh, listen, Jim. Jim, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
And to you.
And to read away, and anybody out there, get Jim's book and Walking the Munster Blackwater, and of course he'll be talking tomorrow night in Immrama. More to come, of course, Jim, no doubt about it. And we're delighted to have you and, you know, to have made this connection with you. And this is Bernadette Phillips at Community Radio Youghal, and we hope that you all have a wonderful connection here with Jim going forward. A Youghal man.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much.
I would send in my best wishes to Noel Cronin and to Mick Sheehan and Michael Cunningham and all the very good, enthusiastic people in Community Radio Youghal. They're a splendid bunch of people.
Fantastic. Jim, an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernadette.